temple president in Vrindavan. He was wearing white still in those days, but he was really a very powerful devotee and very dedicated devotee. And I was very impressed how, I don't know if I should say this, but there was a group of devotees who were very, very senior devotees. I mean, the most senior, really. Some of the most senior in Islam. But they were spending a sort of inordinate amount of time with a non-Islam devotee. And it wasn't a very good example, frankly. And Kadam, Maharaj, as the temple president, he, so to speak, took them on, headed up by Tamal Krishna Maharaj, who, was not an easy person to take on at all. So Kadam Maharaj was fearless. And that's one characteristic of his I think is very special, is that he was really fearless and you could catch it as he was talking there. Different. I don't know how to do it. Well, just give it away in a few minutes. So I thought we could see it in the different video excerpts that we were just watching. Very dedicated and very fearless, extremely deep faith and extremely deep conviction in Prabhupada, in Krishna consciousness, in chanting. Really, he was a very remarkable devotee. And so we can learn from his life, of course. We can learn from his actions and what he said. But we can also learn, and we must learn, what Prabhupada referred to as the final lesson, which was the lesson of how he left this world. A very remarkable lesson. And his fearlessness was just so vividly displayed there. It was really amazing, actually. Despite extreme discomfort, shall we say, or which actually translates to mean extreme pain, but he just carried on focusing and being focused on the Lord and on Srila Jayadvaita Maharaj and on Srila Prabhupada. What an example. And as was just said, he's living on, he's still with us. This is the thing, that ultimately we'll only realize that fact when he's gone. If he's still here, even if not right here, but somewhere else in some other country or just wherever else, then there's a sort of shelter, you could say, or something like that, even though he's not here, but he's here. And so it's okay. It's fine, there's not really a problem. But that only becomes really vividly clear when he's actually departed. And of course, when a great devotee departs, and particularly one's own spiritual master departs, then there's a natural tendency to feel separation and for the experience to be difficult. But it's the only way to learn or observe someone giving that final lesson. And the thing is that service and separation like now is the deepest experience. It's the deepest experience of all. There's no ecstasy like the ecstasy of service and separation. Service in the physical presence, of course, is very nice. It's extremely nice to say the least, but the service and separation is still the highest. That's the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya to teach that. Sometimes I tell the story in the Navadvip area, and one time they were in Moldadrudwi, which is one of the 9 islands of Navadvip. And Mother Sita noticed that Lord Ram was meditating. He was sitting down sort of in the classic position, crossed legs, and eyes closed and deeply absorbed and concentrating. And she noticed that while he was sitting like that he was smiling, like a really very warm and very deep smile. So after a little while he came out of the meditation, and Mother Sita asked him, so I saw you were smiling, you were so happy, you were obviously meditating on something really, really exceptionally wonderful. Please tell me what it was. So Lord Ram said, yes, I was meditating how you and I, we're going to take birth again here in this Navadvip area. In the future, we'll be together again. And we'll give everyone love for ourselves. And it'll just be so wonderful, so ecstatic, and the happiness that will be there will just be unlimited. So I was meditating on that. But particularly, Lord Ram said, I was meditating how I, at that time, am going to give you the greatest mercy. And Mother Sita thought, oh, that sounds wonderful, and asked him, what is that most wonderful thing, that most wonderful gift you're going to give me at that time? And Lord Ram said, yes, the most wonderful gift I'm going to give you is that after we've spent some time together here, giving everybody love for ourselves, so the most wonderful thing is that I will take sannyas and leave you. That's just going to be the most wonderful thing. And it'll be the greatest gift I can give you. And Mother Sita said, what? That's terrible. How could you think like that? How could you do that? And then Lord Ram explained that love in separation is the highest experience. Even of course, love in the presence is just wonderful. It just is wonderful, to say the least, but love and separation is much more wonderful. And Lord Ram said that when I was told I had to go into exile, I thought, yes, now is the opportunity for me to give you that special mercy. But then you insisted on coming with me. I wanted to leave you in the palace and go, so you'd have that experience, but you insisted on coming. So when we come at that time in Kali Yuga, what I will do to give you this experience, I will leave you, I will take sannyas, and then you cannot come with me. We cannot be Mr. and Mrs. Swami. No, we can't do that. So then you'll be forced. That separation will be forced on you. And through that you'll get this experience which otherwise you couldn't get. You couldn't really get. That love in separation, service in separation, is the richest, most beautiful, most relishable, and most wonderful thing for the devotee. And to get that, and the process by which one gets that, that's the greatest gift, actually. So His Holiness Kadam Maharaj is giving that gift to all of you who are His disciples, and all of us, because He was so dear to all of us. I think we all knew Him well. But He's given us that gift. And of course, to sort of digest it, that takes a little while. It takes a little while. It's definitely an adjustment. But if you can make that adjustment, then you'll start entering into that realm of experience of love and separation. But one needs to make that effort and sort of break through into that realm of love and separation. You know, unfortunately, that's what quite a number of very senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada couldn't do. Because Prabhupada left this world, and they were so, you could say, so used to having his association quite often. But now they had to address, or they had to just, anyway, accept this whole situation of being in separation and adjust to that, digest it. So it's a bit of a challenge. And disciples need to pray to the spiritual master, pray to Prabhupada, pray to Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi, Radha, Radhanath, to pray to the Lord and the devotees. Please help me to digest this and come through on the other side of this situation. So, you know, I see so many of you are carrying on and doing so much service. And it's really wonderful. And I can see that in your ways, and, you know, step by step, you're learning how to digest this and carry on forward. But there's a lot of nectar there. You know, in relationship with the spiritual master, that's the main catalyst which sort of pulls everything together in Krishna consciousness. And this particular point of love and separation and learning how to relish it, you know, it's such an important aspect. So keep praying, keep serving, keep remembering and meditating on Maharaj, all the wonderful experiences you had. And like that, I remember the last experience, in a public or in a big program, the last experience with him I remember was right here in this temple room. And I forget what the occasion was, but the temple room was pretty full. It was a Snanyatra. And what a kirtan. What a kirtan. What was it that I apparently said? An explosion.
Of an explosion.
Of an explosion. Okay, well, what a kirtan that was. Completely out of this world. So keep remembering these happenings and experiences. And keep faith that there's more to come. It's not the end. It's the beginning of the next phase. That's what it is. And when you go from one phase into the next, and there's significant differences between the phases. There's a sort of bridging period where you got to adjust. But generally the devotees do that. So you keep on like that, and Maharaj will bless you. Keep on praying to Him to help you to adjust and to help you really be the type of servant that He would just love you to be. Hare Krishna. Shri Kadam Maharaj.
His Holiness Particularly Swami Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj. We'll now ask His Holiness Ram Govinda Swami to address us.
Hare Krishna. Namah Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Kadam kanan swamis Namane. When I took sannyas first time, I met. Before that, a brahmachari used to meet with Maharaj, but not closely. After taking sannyas, first time I met with Maharaj in Johannesburg airport. Maharaj going somewhere, I was going somewhere. Then I paid obeisance immediately. He said, you don't have to pay obeisance to me. And we were talking about our sannyas when they took it out. And I was so cordial, advising how to be in the sannyasi, in mood. And always I used to see Maharaj when he's singing Mangalarati or any kirtan, there are different melodies. Normally when you are singing one frequency, you sing it. But one Maharaj singing like different type of frequency, tones are coming out. Very, very melodious singer. Kirtan, you forget it. It looks like Maharaj is out of this world when he's singing. That type of melodious kirtan will come by the mercy of the Lord when it is completely out of the body consciousness, absorbing fully in the Supreme Lord. The Lord gives that melody. He is like king of the kirtan samrats. You can see the dancer, you can sing for hours to the picnic and how does this come? Physically, when you are completely body conscious, not possible. You get tired. But Maharaj, when singing, for me, I used to think that Maharaj no more in the material world, it's Krishna. That's why he was able to sing with enthusiasm, not just like singing as duty or something. Wholeheartedly. We have to learn that's how to sing for the Lord wholeheartedly. When we sing that, you see others are appreciating or not. But Maharaj singing is not related to that someone appreciating or not, just singing with Krishna. Then you can say advertising. Also, when you are talking, Prabhupada once he said that how he used to interact with Bhavana Maharaj and His Holiness Devata Krishna Maharaj when he was in Mayapur supervising the Prabhupada Memorial Pushpa Samadhi construction. So I said, Maharaj, you are Prabhupada? No, I am not Prabhupada, but I used to interact. So such a senior, but used to be very humble, always talking, especially a person like me used to talk very friendly. We learn so many things from Maharaj. give, how to associate with the disciple, how to associate with the devotees. Everything you said practically, implemented what he says, it does also. That's very important. No duplicity. Maharaj given 2 books. Last time when I met him, I had the opportunity to see Maharaj here. Durban, then he gave him 2 books, he wrote it. And 3 months later, when I went to Vrindavan, Kadam Maharaj was also taking Vrindavan, preparing part of the final departure from this material world. I was staying in the Russian house. From there I went to see Maharaj. Maharaj had time, a couple of hours to sit together talking. And I asked Maharaj, I heard in the truth. Yes, it is true. Not much time left for me. I said, Maharaj, when I see the face, it doesn't look like that. What I had in this is true. Because the one who is on the well, they always worried, but Maharaj not at all worried at all. And I just like talking happily. So I asked Maharaj, don't you feel pain that one had the cancer? Yes, pain is there, what is it? If I show the pain, my followers, they will also feel pain. So tolerate it. I know that the pain is there, but tolerate it. When you tolerate it and meditate on Krishna, the pain is related to the body, not to you. So you forget it. But when you think of pain, always body, you feel more painful. So best is to more concentrate, meditate on Krishna. Always chant Hare Krishna mantra. Very wonderful advice, Maharaj. So we are talking that way. I was thinking that one day I will also come to that consciousness to tolerate the difficulties will come in the life. Tolerate and meditate on the Lord. Everything can be mitigated. Lord Maharaj said that everything can be mitigated by chanting and having the full confidence in the mercy of the Lord Krishna. Maharaj had such a great faith. Many teachings we can learn from the life of such wonderful devotee of the Lord who dedicated the life he engaged. And the engaged only dedicated himself to the service of Srila Prabhupada, being a temple president. Vrindavan, to be temple president in Vrindavan, it's not easy. One of the most toughest jobs presidents at the Vrindavan temple. They have to maintain so many standards, take care of some devotees. But Maharaj was there for more than a decade. So that shows how much mercy he had from all the Prabhupada disciples and Prabhupada and his spiritual master. Without that mercy, it is not easy to take up the position of the president in the government. We need special mercy of the Lordship and Vaishnavas. When you go through such highly elevated spiritual master and we closely observe in life day-to-day activities and teachings, we also learn so many things. That is very essential that every teaching, every lecture Maharaj gives, we have to see what is the lesson, what is the instruction for us Maharaj is giving. So I have the final instruction. Maharaj also telling how to conduct ourselves. 2 hours time, I was feeling happy also and feeling was sad also. Then I left it after some months I came to know that Maharaj gone to the eternal Vrindavan. But Lord so not with the Maharaj not with us, not physically, but by his body. Is always with us. For the disciples, Guru never separated. Guru is eternally with the disciples. You can practically say when you meditate upon Guru, you will get intuitions. Guru Tattva was there. So Maharaj physically may not be available with us now. But when we think of Maharaj, the Vani is always with us. As Srila Prabhupada says, serving the Vani is more important than serving the body. We take this opportunity that we always meditate upon the instructions of His Holiness Kadam Maharaj for our spiritual benefit, which we please. Hare Krishna. Maharaj ki
His Holiness Ram Govinda Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Maharaj always wanted everyone more on platonic level. He didn't like formalities or any of that sort. And we are quite fortunate to have some of Maharaj's friends here today. So the first senior devotee I want to call up is His Grace Jagadananda Pandit Prabhu. Maharaj was very fond of Jagadananda Pandit Prabhu. And Jagadananda Pandit Prabhu just wants to admit one thing today to you, that, in the early days, I was fortunate to become basically Maharaj's Balaram. When he was new coming to Satyaka, the driver, the cook, the works, sorting the laundry and whatnot. And the only person that got around me was Jagadananda Prabhu. And I'm going to tell you why. Is because, as I said, the one duty was I was the driver. And I was, very immature, young at the time, probably like 16, 17, and I was driving Maharaj without a license at the time. So anyway, Jagadananda Prabhu used to go basically behind that back straight to Maharaj, and always invite him to the house, and come and fetch him. And I used to ride in the back seat, and I always just think in my mind, who does he think he is to forgive me for all those offenses, but I just had to bless you and be your blessings. Jagadananda Prabhu is like my father now, so I just wanted to just thank you for
What do you say after that introduction? Actually, I didn't know I had to go through Rancho Prabhu. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Kadam kanan swamis namine. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Pushkita Desatharine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. One day when I was alone with Maharaj, I took the opportunity to ask him a very personal question. My Guru Maharaj used to tell us that if you want to associate with a sadhu, then you should hear from them. So this time I asked Maharaj, what was that epiphany? What was that moment in time that you would say catapulted your spiritual life after you had taken initiation? So Maharaj mentioned that when one realizes that Krishna's name and Krishna himself are non-different, abhinatvam nama namino. And obviously that meant that Maharaj had already surpassed this point of realization, and he was, from a factual but also from a very humble point of view, he was explaining how when in the life of a sadhaka, when one makes that connection, then your spiritual life is immediately transported into another realm. One day, after a program, I was driving Maharaj back to Shri Radharanath temple. And just as we got off, Maharaj was staying in Srila Prabhupada's room. Maharaj just turned to me and said, Jagadananda, I didn't chant good rounds today. I want to redo all my rounds. Have you ever heard anyone say this? Do we do that? So that tells you what a lover of the holy name Maharaj is. And for many, many years, on a regular basis, I would meditate on this point. And to me, it feels like that Maharaj is doing this all the time. That because he has such taste for the holy name, he is always considering that his chanting is deficient. There's some aberration in his japa. And hence, I'm sure most of you know, Maharaj was chanting way more than 60 rounds per day. To think or to say that His Holiness Kadam, kanan, Swami is an exalted personality is not enough. To think that he is a transcendental personality, even that is not enough. I would say he could very easily be a character straight out of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And of course, some people may think, oh, Jagadananda, you are biased. But actually, okay, I am a little biased. But from a factual point of view, let's consider. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has prophesied, has stated, that a time will come when people of the world will learn Bengali just to relish the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that prophecy is not that Maharaj went and studied Bengali to fulfill the prophecy of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but that he is the prophecy. Like him, there are other very, very special personalities in our movement. His Holiness J. Bhattacharya Swami is notably one of them as well, who know Bengali. One day whilst I was in Mayapur, I heard that Maharaj is giving a class. So I was excited, I was going to meet Maharaj that morning. So I went to the Bhagavatam class. And then Maharaj gave the entire class to the Bengalis in Bangla. That was the first time I saw how erudite and what a command of the Bengali language Maharaj had. You don't know, when somebody is eloquent, there's no all those things. It just flows. And that's like Maharaj's third or fourth language that he was mastered. We can see Maharaj's service to the Vaishnavas. It's completely on a different level. And I just highlight one point. I think every single devotee in the world of ISKCON has at one point or the other searched and looked at KK songs. Yes or yes? Yeah. Imagine, Maharaj is serving all these Vaishnavas, not only during his lifetime, but for future generations to come. Wonderful. Maharaj's service in the world of ISKCON is legendary, and you probably hear a lot of the devotees speak about it, and you know, of course, the disciples will know a lot of that. So, dear disciples of Kadam Swami Maharaj, you are in an exceptionally fortunate position. Your good fortune actually knows no bounds. To have a pure devotee as your spiritual master, a devotee of the highest caliber, is the greatest gift you could ever receive in your entire life. There's no greater gift. So I applaud you, I salute you, and I also wish that you also be kind upon me. Continue to shower me with your mercy so that I can feel Maharaj's presence and I can appreciate Maharaj's gifts to this world. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. His Holiness Kadam Swami Shri Vyasa Puja Mahamotsav Ki Gaur Premanand.